Hello, explorers, and welcome to Reach the World's Explorer program. For 25 years, Reach the World has inspired youth to become curious, confident, and compassionate global citizens through virtual exchange. My name is Tim, and today we are traveling live to the PONANT ice-breaking vessel, Le Commandant Charcot, to join Reach the World explorer Heather Halstead and her fellow crew members in the high seas between Greenland and Iceland. As a representative of the Explorers Club, Heather has been experiencing coastal Greenland alongside other Arctic explorers, and she's joining us live from the ship today with a number of very special guests to tell us all about it. Before we bring Heather onto the stage, though, I want to give a warm welcome to the teachers and students who are joining us live today. We will meet you in just a minute, but for those who are tuning in via YouTube, please use the chat bar to let us know you're here, where you're joining from, and of course, to share any questions you have for Heather and friends as we go. We'll cover as much ground and answer as many questions as we can in the next 45 minutes. All right. Let's jump. I would like to jump virtually, of course, to the ship, the Commandant Charcot, and welcome Heather and her friends to the stage. And as I attempt to say bonjour to Heather, I see her popping up on the screen. Hello, Heather.
Hello, Tim. We had our previous lecture ran a little bit long, so we're doing fun things like moving tables and chairs around the stage, but we're really happy to see you.
I didn't have a microphone. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you just very, very well, considering you are in the icy gap of cold water between Iceland and Greenland. It's a real treat to be able to connect to you in this way today. We have a number of classrooms who are joining us here today. And before we sort of turn things over to you, I thought it might be nice to give them a chance to introduce themselves to you and your guest there and the special guest that we have joining you. Does that sound good?
That sounds perfect. We'll mute ourselves while we get ready to meet our classrooms. We're so thankful everybody could join us. And just so all of you classrooms know, we will be having a few guests joining me on stage. They'll sit in the chairs next to me. You've already seen some pictures of them and information about them on our website. So they are really excited to see you and to hear your questions. So I'll mute us and let's hear from you.
Sounds great. I think our first classroom that's ready to introduce themselves is Greenup County High School. So I'm going to turn things over to Erin. Hi, Erin.
Hi, my name's Erin, and I'm a junior at Greenup County High School from Greenup, Kentucky.
Fabulous, Erin. It's great to have you here. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining. I'm going to bring up our friends at the Conacut Island Sailing Foundation. Hi, Conacut Island Sailing Foundation.
Hi, we're Shay and Luna from CISF in Jamestown, Rhode Island. We're interested in learning more about the ship.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be a part of this group we're in.
Well, fabulous. Great job. It's nice to meet you both. Thanks for joining us today. Who shall we go to next? How about the Youth Build Providence? Hey, Youth Build Providence.
Hi, my name is Valentina. These are my classmates from Youth Build Preparatory Academy in Providence, Rhode Island. And we're actually super excited to be learning about the ship. We actually did a field trip with SISF. And yeah, we're super excited.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here. It's great to have you. And I think last but certainly not least, we have Franklin L. Williams Middle School in Jersey City.
Oh, hi, this is Arid, and this is Franklin L. Williams, and this is my classmates.
Hi, from New Jersey.
Hello, hello. We're so glad you're here. I'm going to move you backstage, and I am going to turn things over to Heather and special guest number one. Let's get you unmuted, Heather.
I'm going to invite our guests up on stage one by one, and I'm going to disappear into the background and ask each guest to give a brief introduction of themselves. And we may have a couple of surprise guests. A lot of people are here in the theater with us to introduce themselves to you. So we'll do some quick introductions, and then we want to leave most of our time for your questions. I know you've been reading quickly about our boat, the Commandant Charcot, and have lots of questions. So I'm going to introduce first two people who are here together doing scientific research on board this amazing vessel. And their names are Lee Gray, and Adam. So come on up here, guys, and give us a little introduction.
Is there a microphone?
Oh yeah.
Is this mic for them?
Yeah, it doesn't. They both work because it's picking up just.
Hi there, I'm Lee Gray Bose. I am oftentimes an accidental explorer. I have the world's most confusing career path. I started off doing cave exploration as a job, doing working for the National Park Service. I was a firefighter. I worked doing oil exploration. I was an earthquake and volcano scientist doing modeling in California. And the past 10 years or so, I've been over in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, so not too far from where a lot of you guys are, around Connecticut stuff.
Yeah. And I'm Adam Weaver, and I do cave exploration as often as I can all over the world. Currently I work for one of the largest paleontological companies in the world that makes dinosaurs. If you guys have been to a museum that has dinosaurs, we probably made one of them. You know, we make them everywhere in the world. Every museum that has dinosaurs, we have a dinosaur in them. So we do that. But before that, you know, I have a master's degree in natural resources. So I work for the Forest Service and I work for the National Park Service, like Lee Gray. So I have a pretty wide background as well.
Okay, let's bring up. This one's not working. I think.
It is. Let's bring up our whole guest crew. So I think next, because I want to get the amazing technology and studio manager, you guys can stay because we're going to do questions. I'm not really sure what order the questions are going to come in, but I'm going to invite a very famous person on board the ship, and his name is Patrick. And I'm going to tell you something very funny about Patrick. Maybe we'll do this later. Patrick, our cruise director, normally when he walks onto the stage, there's an amazing bar of music that plays to announce his arrival. We didn't do it just now, but maybe at the end. And we're also really hoping, kids, that the captain will come down for a special visit. And if he does, we might get to hear his awesome music too. So I'll let Patrick, our cruise director, introduce himself to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Patrick, born in Malta, currently live in Brazil. Have been a cruise director for the past, working on board for the past 15 years, cruise director for the past 13. Worked on American companies before, big ships, and now I moved to the smaller and great vessels, and the Commandant Charcot is one of these vessels. And also, so I have a bachelor's degree in tourism, hospitality management and tourism, and a master's degree in international tourism and events. And I did that, I finished my degree first, and then I did my master's in between contracts. So basically I took a bit of a longer period between the contracts that we need to be on board, and then that is when I did my master's. So, and now I'm very happy to be with you here all today with Lee Gray, Adam, Heather, and with all of you in the US.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Patrick. Patrick keeps us in line every day. As he said in his article that I'm sure you've all read, he brings the fun, so you'll have to ask some questions from Patrick. He also speaks 6 languages. I want to make sure everybody notices this amazing talent. Now I'm going to invite up Jerome. Please come and join us. Jerome is an amazing guest, and he's representing the guests today on board the Commandant Charcot, which is the name of everybody's playing musical chairs. And so we're super excited to have a guest on the ship here to join us to tell us what it's like to be a guest on the ship and to think with us about the value of travel. So introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be here and to meet you. I met Heather on the first day, and we started talking about travels, and I was kindly invited to join. I don't work on ships. I work actually on trains. So I'm originally French, as you can hear from my horrible accent. And I moved to England about 21 years ago, and I started working for a train that is called Eurostar. So it's a train that links London to Paris and the rest of Europe. So yeah, it links via a tunnel under the channel, the island of Great Britain to the rest of the continent, as they say in England. So I don't work on the sea, but I kind of work under the sea. So if you have any question also on trains or that kind of travel, I'll be happy to answer them. And it's been an amazing experience to meet all these people and to be part of this cruise. It's a beautiful ship. And I was lucky enough today to visit the engines also, so I might be able to answer a few questions, but I won't get too technical.
Amazing. So we're lucky, guys, and we're just going to go straight into questions because as I was going to show the guests here in the theater, we have been posting information about Le Commandant Charcot and also our journey on the Reach the World website, which we hope you kids had a chance to review a bit. So we'll take right into your questions. We have representation from the guests, from our science team, from the staff, and we may get a chance, if we can find another chair, to invite Yakisak to join us as well, who is from Greenland himself and would love to answer questions. Leave raising this on the floor. We have a good crowd here. So let's just let Yakisak do a quick introduction. I sprung this on him the last minute, but he's super excited to meet you all. And he's not too much older than you.
Well, I'm 22, so I'm not sure. But I'm Yakisak. I come from East Greenland, the Seelach, one of the only two southeastern cities of Greenland. I know a lot about the north and Greenland itself. So questions about Greenland, I should be able to answer.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yakisak, for joining us. All right, Tim, I'm going to turn it over to you to see if we have some questions. We'll just have a lovely conversation for the next little while here.
Fabulous. What a great group of experts and fascinating people to talk to today. I want to also share that, well, you are definitely in an auditorium right now. You are in a very unique part of the world. And we have a couple images that I think might help our students really understand where in the world you are. So I want to bring some of those up. And I thought maybe we could take just 2 or 3 minutes before we turn things over to questions that some of these may be your photos or some of these may be things you can speak to, but will give us a little bit more context about where you've been over the last week and a half. So does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds like a plan. And I know who can answer this first question, probably Lee Gray or Adam, who took, no, this is not your picture, but yes, let's go through our pictures and they can even tell you more about pictures that they took. Okay, so who would like, I'm going to have Patrick tell us a little bit about where are we? Just like a small dose. We all know, but
so we were able to go on the east coast of Greenland. Well, actually on the drifting ice and on the fast ice on the east coast of Greenland. We tried to reach the where Jakusak is from, Tasiilaq. However, unfortunately, we had a lot of pressure on moving ice due to the bad weather the previous days. So we were not able to reach Tasiilaq and meet all the community from Jakusak. However, we did some incredible navigation in the packed ice, and the fast ice. We actually went to the southern part of Greenland, and we were able to disembark, even if we had 5 polar bears around at 1.5 kilometers, 2 kilometers away. So we had the naturalist team surveying the area, of course, so it was secure for our passengers and the team to be able to disembark. And we disembarked on the fast ice on the southern part of Greenland, and we all had fun like kids.
What is fast ice?
Fast ice. Well, you're the scientist. You can explain that. Go on. What is fast? Do you know what fast ice is?
Yes, I do.
So explain it.
Fast ice is the ice on the coast that is not the ice flow.
Yeah. The ice flow, as in it's a moving ice. What is fast ice is it's like the seatbelt, So the seatbelt is fastened. So the fast ice is fastened to the coast, and it doesn't move until, of course, it starts to melt and becomes look at that!
Oh my
goodness! Hello.
You got a chance
again.
Thank you for coming, Captain.
That's the captain, everyone, and he came in with his music. Just to say hello, Captain.
Yes, hello.
Thank you
How
for
are
finding
you?
the time.
Yes.
All right.
So, who I am? Who are you in front of me now? Who I am, I know.
Oh no.
So we have 5 schools, Heather?
Yes, we do.
Yes. So Heather or someone from her team can explain to the captain.
I'm a little bit worried we might have just
Yes.
lost them. Oh no, here
Hi,
we go.
Captain. No. We're all here, and I'm gonna bring. I'll bring our students up on the screen so you can see them,
Okay, good.
and they can say hello to you. It's a special opportunity to meet the captain.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Awesome. So lucky. Thank you guys.
So, of course, I'm available if you have any question.
Yeah, let's give it
Chance for Tim, for any students in the group who would like to ask the captain a specific question about perhaps being the captain, this amazing ship. He doesn't have very long because of obviously has to pilot the ship. We're getting close to the end of our journey. But let's see if we can just take a second away from the slides to ask any questions, kids, from our captain.
Sure, and I'll clean up the screen a little bit. If you have a question for the captain, just give me a big wave, and I'll bring you on. All right, I see CISF is ready to go, so let's give them the first opportunity.
Why isn't the ship nuclear? The U.S. Army uses nuclear power in its ships. It's safer and more efficient, right?
It's a very good question. You're very, very smart. It's a question, that now we are thinking, on the cargo ship, to use nuclear propulsion. Why? Because, of course, is for the moment, in terms of emission in the atmosphere, is the cleanest. Definitely there is no emission when you use nuclear power like the military ship. But now I think the public, they are not ready, especially on a cruise ship, to have nuclear because they thought that
Like
it
the
would be
like
dangerous.
psychological thing. 'Cause-
Yeah. So they are maybe in the future. Depend. The spirit has to evolve, and we don't know. Maybe in the future, but for the moment, it's a little bit too early. And I think the public, they are not ready to sail on the cruise ship with nuclear plants. So instead, we don't have nuclear plant. We are using liquefied gas, which is of course fossil energy, but is the less, we provide less emission than let's say marine diesel oil, for example. So we have engine on board that they can use dual fuel, either the fuel that you use on your car, or this LNG liquefied gas. We can use one or the other. And usually when we are, especially in the polar region, to be less harmful, and we are using this energy as much as we can.
And also to answer, to continue with what the captain is saying.
Thank you.
First icebreaker passenger ship. So we couldn't break so many frontiers on the first icebreaker. So we're giving small steps. So it's the first time that we are actually a passenger ship that is an icebreaker and can bring passengers to specific communities and specific spaces.
And also, when we are going to Antarctica, I have to check, but I'm not sure that we will be entitled to cruise with nuclear plants within the area of the Antarctic Treaty, which is a protected area. I'm not sure that we will be entitled to do so. So this is also a question.
Great question.
Right.
guys.
Yeah. Fabulous question.
I know you guys started with an amazing question. Any more? We challenge our guests.
I'm looking for other hand waves. All right, Youth Build, ready to go. You are on camera. Go ahead, ask the captain your question.
How you doing? I'm Eric. So I actually have two questions in one. How long have you been traveling, and where have you been in your career? Like
How
what?
long I've been captain?
How long have you been captain?
Yeah, 24 years as a captain, and I've been almost everywhere. Let's say, but I have some area that I didn't explore yet, but I've been mostly a lot in the polar region since 18 years, from the Arctic, Northwest Passage, North Canada, Greenland, North Pole 6 times, Svalbard, Greenland, and also in Antarctic. Also, I've been, and I enjoy too, Far East Asia, I've been to Far East Russia before the war. Now I cannot go anymore. The place that is called Chukotka and Kamchatka. Chukotka is just in front of Alaska, in fact, in the Bering Strait. It's a beautiful place. I've been also a lot in the Pacific Ocean, from Indonesia to French Polynesia, as well, Japan, yes, and a little bit east of Africa as well, from Madagascar to Seychelles.
Great, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any more questions for the captain? Any things you really want to know? Anybody from Miss Littman class or Green Up? I think I see it. Is this a hand in Green Up? Yes, there you go. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Seb. Some of us were wondering, how does the ship cut through the ice?
How does the ship cut through the ice?
The ship is slow. The technique for an icebreaker is you are different. Sometimes you cut the ice, but also you, with the displacement of the vessel, 30,000 tons, then you crush the ice like a chocolate tablet, you know, is what they call it officially. So you move ahead and you crush the ice floe. There is also another possibility to go astern, especially on this vessel. Only few vessels, most of the icebreaker, they don't have that. We are the only one. Also, there are some gas carrier that they are using the same technique. We turn the propeller and we blind the ice. So it will grind. It will grind the ice, because in fact the propeller, they are built very strong in order to blind the ice.
So the captain does very big smoothies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great question. Thank you, Greenup County. I'm going to go
Just I can add, to be a strong icebreaker, you need weight, heavy, strong, very thick steel, about up to 6 centimeters, you know, and also a lot of power. So all those parameters allow you to break the ice as much as you can, but sometimes, as we face this cruise, Mother Nature is stronger, so we have to sail with also humility. Sometimes it's too heavy, a lot of pressure on the ice, so you just have to turn back and find your way in a different place, you know.
Exactly. Such a great lesson.
Fabulous.
It's a great lesson.
I have 2 more questions for Captain, if we can take just a little bit more of your
No
time.
problem.
I'm going to bring our friends in Jersey City up. Do we have anybody at MS7 who's got a question?
Yes, can you hear us? Go. Roger.
Yes, go ahead.
Has the boat ever hit icebergs like the Titanic?
Great question.
I know, you know, Titanic is a bad word. That is a bad luck, you know, when we pronounce. No, just kidding. In fact, you know, Titanic was long time ago. And Titanic was the beginning of the new regulation, what we call it SOLAS, Safety of Life at Sea. From there, we started to improve the construction of the vessel. We improve, life-saving appliance, how to, let's say, to fight against the fire and etc. So since Titanic, we improve a lot, not only an icebreaker, but all kind of ships, you know. So now I don't say that it could not happen, but barely it could happen, you know, definitely.
Very good.
Yeah, because we have also different means, weather forecast, ice forecast, so we can anticipate better. Can you imagine that at that time, they were with a big cruise ship, full speed, without radar? It's like you are blinded. It's difficult to understand that how come they could sail with a commercial pressure, because they want to arrive in New York as fast as possible. So they have the commercial pressure, and they say, okay, although that they knew that icebergs were in the vicinity, they didn't reduce the speed. And they were blinded. Blind. Now we have radar, since the Second World War, we invent the radar, and the radar, they are our eyes. Even if the visibility is bad, we can see through this radar. So definitely it's improving. It was improving definitely the safety of life at sea.
Tim, one last question for the captain, as he has been told by the staff captain. We have whales. We have whales, captain.
Okay, they can change.
Yes. I will bring our CISF group back on for one more quick question.
Thank you. We have one more.
So day to day, can you actually see the volume of the ice decreasing? Because I know the ice caps are melting. So like, day to day, can you see the actually amount of ice decreasing?
Do you see the ice decreasing because of climate change?
Yeah, generally it's difficult to see a little bit, but in fact, even after 15 years is not enough. What I'm based on is the scientist study. In fact, what we know and what we see when we have the less ice, especially in September, every year the superficie of the ice in the Arctic is reducing. This is a fact. Now we can discuss if it's due to the human being or not, is another subject. But the fact is, yes, every year we have less sea ice. But for example, when we are in East Greenland, it's difficult to know because you have sometimes more ice. But it's not because of you have more ice, because also the ice is melting from the glacier. So you have more iceberg drifting. You have less ice on land, but at sea drifting you have more. And also another thing is very important is in the Arctic, in North Pole, we call it old ice. This old ice was trapped for decades and decades, surrounded by new ice, let's say. But this new ice now is melting faster. So because this ice is leaving, then all this old ice that was trapped in the North Pole now slowly start to drift. So now we have more chance to see this old ice, dangerous, in the vicinity of Tasiilaq, for example. Maybe before you see less, now maybe more, I don't. And in the Northwest Passage, for example, before you have barely this old ice, because the melting new ice allow this, this ice to take the place in the place where before you didn't have old ice. But generally, yes, the scientists study say that there are less ice in the Arctic,
All right. Thank you so much for that great question.
I think Yakusak could really probably comment
as
well.
I
think we should.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's nice.
His homelands, yeah.
The ice flowing past us in Tasiilaq is increasing. There's more and more ice that flows past us across the ocean.
Yeah.
But the glaciers are calving much more. I've seen more calving than glaciers calving than my great-great-grandfather did, for example.
Yes.
And what?
Calving, which means maybe then.
When a glacier is calving, it just means a piece of it breaks off and drift off into the ocean and out through the fjords. Those are the ones that create icebergs. Icebergs are from glaciers. Ice sheets and ice flows come from frozen sea ice that breaks apart. And I've seen glaciers disappear. There's a fjord now where we call it a fjord, but my great uncle has always called it a glacier. The glacier is gone now that we only have a fjord in those areas.
Okay, thank you. Great. Well, I think, do we need to let the captain go?
I think perhaps you can see, guys, that our captain is always carrying a phone on his hip.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, exciting. Maybe we'll take you outside. Okay.
Again, I can answer. I'm happy. I think it's very important for you to understand how it works. You are the new generation, and we have to treasure you, definitely. So I think it will take time, no problem.
All right, great. Well, Captain's willing to answer a couple more questions. Do we have some more questions from any of our school groups?
We're close to
This is your chance. All right, I won't put anybody on the spot, but I think maybe they have covered their burning questions about the ship. Captain, maybe I can ask on their behalf, what is the most amazing thing you have seen as you have traveled up the coast of Greenland?
I think what I'm amazed, and definitely I am a big fan of Greenland. I've been to Antarctica many times. Of course, you have a lot of wildlife and everything, but I don't know why something attracts me to Greenland. Maybe because also it's the place where people are living, and also it moved me always, especially when I arrive and I see this beautiful and fantastic landscape, high mountains and everything. It's always the things that move me the most when I arrive in Greenland is the landscape. The landscape, and after definitely the welcome of the people who live with the Greenlandic people. Yes, there is something different. In Antarctica, you don't have human being, so it makes a big difference.
Okay, thank you so much. Captain, we appreciate it. Our friends at Greenup County High School need to leave soon, so I want to bring them back on camera and give them the chance to ask at least one more question to all of you who are there. So if Greenup friends, if you have another question that you'd like to ask to this group, we've got scientists, we've got a guest who grew up in Greenland. Greenland is his home. We have the cruise director. We have a guest from Europe. We have the captain. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask before you have to head out today?
We are checking to see. Do you have one? Hold up there. We have some that are kind of shy.
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
How are there no Santa questions?
I don't know about Santa.
I had a question for Heather.
Okay.
Okay, Heather?
Sure.
Out of all the things that you could be doing today, how did you just find yourself traveling through the Arctic?
Well, this is a place, I had two personal dreams. I always dreamed about seeing the Northern Lights, and I dreamed about seeing a polar bear. And I was very, very lucky to receive a nomination to come here on this amazing ship with these incredible people to share with them about Reach the World, really about you guys in schools all around the world, learning from us. And so, sure, I have a lot of things I could be doing, but I could not be happier than to be in this place with my new boat family, which feels like home already after only 1 week. And I'll tell you what, I got really, really lucky. Both my dreams came true this week. We got to see the Northern Lights, and we also got to see more than one polar bear, including a polar bear cub in the distance. And you can see in the picture that Tim is showing some polar bear tracks. And you can also see there the spotlights when the captain was speaking about the Titanic and explaining that the Titanic was very blind when it was sailing. Well, this ship is not blind. Look at how many eyes it has from its searchlights. So it's a great question, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than right here. And I wish all of you could be here too. Maybe you will be one day.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for that question. Greenup County, thank you for joining us if you have to head out. It's great to have you here. We have a bunch more pictures to show. We have a lot more experts to speak to and hear a little bit more from about their work. Heather, which would you like to proceed with first?
I think that we have another lecture coming into the lecture hall here in about maybe 10 minutes approximately. Yeah, so we had 30 minutes with you all. I know some children are going to lunch and having to leave for the school day, so we can use up the rest of our time if we have more questions. I know that New Jersey's having a lot of tech issues, so unfortunately they're not able to get their questions through. So whatever would be the best, we are open to, but we have about six or so more minutes. I think it might be fun to show a couple pictures, if we don't have more questions, of Adam and Libre's drones, which would be pretty exciting, and also some of the pictures taken by Jerome, because he takes amazing pictures. And of course, if we have any more questions for Yakusak, Patrick, we have so many people here. So just let us know what you'd like to do.
Sounds great. Let's go. Let's give Adam and Lee Gray a chance to talk a little bit about the science they're doing through their work with the Explorers Club and their work just professionally. Kids love to see drones, and I really would love to hear more about how you're using them for your work aboard the ship.
Yeah, so we have 3 drones with us. We probably will come back with more. We have a big one that is fixed wing like an airplane. It can do long distances. We have a medium-sized one that can do thermal imaging, so we can see heat. And then we have a small one like a DJI Mini, the type that a lot of people, a lot of hobbyists have. And we use those to map out the lands. We just take 20,000 photos a day. And then we use computer programs to take those photos and create what's called photogrammetry. So all the photos, the computer can determine the shape of the Earth and mountains and everything like that. We are interested in finding out this area because we're looking for caves. And it's not just us trying to do our hobbies because it's fun, although that's part of it. The caves are interesting to us because caves suck in methane and carbon dioxide. And the research done in the Arctic is very, very, very limited for pretty much everything, but especially for caves. And so we're hoping to fill in a lot of the knowledge in the world and understand where carbon dioxide and methane go. Both are very potent greenhouse gases. I'm mostly an oceanographer. I do, methane and carbon dioxide in the ocean. Adam is a paleontologist. He does dinosaurs. He shakes his head. He does fossils. But we both are cavers. We've been caving for 25 years, even 20-ish. Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions about what we do with that?
Yes. Let's give our students. So we just got a great overview of some of the cool science happening aboard the ship throughout the course of the cruise around Greenland. How about some questions? I see that we have MS7 here with us. Let me bring you on, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. Hello, I saw you recoil at the sight of being on camera, but we'd love if you have any questions about the science that this group is doing on the ship. Please don't be shy. We'd love to hear them.
Anyone? They're being a little shy. I'm off camera. But we would like to know, when you go into those caves, I don't know what was hanging from the ceiling. Is that ever going to fall off and hurt someone? What kind of safety measures do you guys need to take when you wander into Arctic caves?
Yeah, so so things in that picture were stalactites, which is a form of flowstone, which is a rock formation. So typically that's pretty stable. There's certainly places that if you have a cave with running water, there can be more instability, and kind of part of it is kind of being trained and knowing what you're looking at, which can be done with just experience. So if you like caves, you can go enough, you can kind of learn how to identify those things and traverse safely by going with people that are experienced. But yeah, and so Arctic caves, again, if they're hard rock, we don't anticipate any special dangers with them. If there's ice, that is something that we have to be very careful about.
All right, fabulous, great question. I got a notice that our friends at Youth Build have a question. Let's bring them on camera. Hello, Youth Build. Go ahead when you're ready.
Put your face down.
Hi. Our question was, what's the longest time you have ever stayed at the on sea?
I think that would be for me. I think, then without approaching land, without approaching land, I think it would have been the Northwest Passage, probably 15 to 20 days, not very long. But my contract is in how long I am from home. That can vary. I think the longest I've been was 7.5 months aboard. So yeah, but normally now I'm getting older. So I tend to be away for 2.5, 3 months. Yeah. I don't have the energy for more than that.
And Patrick, if I can ask a follow-up question, what makes you keep coming back? What do you like about living and working at sea versus living on land like many other people?
Yeah, it's what I told Heather a couple of days ago. I think we need to choose career paths that we feel that we haven't, when we're 65, we feel that we haven't worked a single day in our life. And that is what the energy and the pleasure I get from working on board. And I could do this in a hotel, but it's not the same. As in, we wake up in a different place every day, and I get to see these beautiful things that I have seen during this cruise. So Arctic, Antarctic, and Seychelles, the Kimberley region in Australia. So some great places that very few people have been, and I'm paid for it.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
That when Patrick enters the room, he like fills it with joy, and so if he works somewhere else with other people, that'd be wasted.
We get the sense he's very good at what he does. Youth Build, thank you so much for your question. I'm going to go back to CISF. Hello, you have another question. Go ahead.
Hi, we actually have a few, if that's okay. First one's coming from someone right off screen, so you won't see him, but you'll hear him.
Hello. I have a question about the caves. Have you seen any crystal formations in the caves? Like any crystals?
Great question.
Well, yeah. So one thing that's fun is we're
cave pearls.
And so one thing that's fun is that where I'm from, the cave that is kind of my hometown cave is 220 miles long, and the entire cave, every surface is crystal.
Whoa.
100% of it is crystal. So it's 220 miles of what is called calcite spar crystal, like many of the caves in the United States.
Looks like a geode.
Yeah, it's a giant
Wow.
geode. So we're climbing around on them. We're sleeping on them. So it's crystals everywhere. You come out looking like you've crawled across the crystal for 4 days when you're in the cave. So the crystals are pretty predominant in caves, and they come from water. They're formed from the cave being full of water.
Amazing.
That is amazing. You blew all our minds.
I don't have That's insane. Do you have any pictures?
Oh.
We'll send you some pictures after.
Yeah, CISF, do you want to ask one more question that you have? And then I want to end with Jerome, who hasn't had a chance to talk yet. So go ahead, please.
All right, we have one more right over here.
Have you ever found a fossil in a cave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons we're here in Greenland is because Greenland, over the course of history, has gone across many different latitudes of the planet. So you can find many different kinds of fossils that have been trapped in the caves over time for many different periods. So we're pretty interested to see what's there. There's not a ton of work done here on that aspect, but I found.
We're getting a PA announcement.
De la vie, autour du navire, à l'avant du navire, on a des cachalots qui sortent tout juste à l'instant, vraiment droit devant le navire.
Let's take them outside.
Yeah, let's take them.
Do you students, do you hear the French?
Les animaux, Momidic, le retour. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have some sperm whale ahead of the ship. We can see them quite well from now. We are getting closer, slowly but surely.
Jerome, you can take
and
them.
we can see the tail right now. So it's just dove, but it means that we'll come back in a few minutes. If you want to join us, please come on the deck to enjoy the Moby Dick meeting.
You're not Jerome is going to take you outside to see a whale live, and a sperm whale, and Heather will send you pictures of the cave fossils later. How about that?
And I don't mind the cold, so I can go in a t-shirt. So don't worry, I don't need to get changed. We can go right ahead.
All right, thank you, Jerome. We'll follow you.
Yeah, so I'll just say to whomever is still on that when animals come close to the ship, everybody gets their coats on and their hats on or not, and they run outside as fast as they can to see what has come to visit us. So for kids who are still here, I know we ran late, but our guest Jerome would love to take the laptop and we'll see if we can see the sperm whale come up to visit us. So, and then we'll probably have to end our event after that point.
That sounds like a great way to end our call today. So we'll follow you.
Yeah. This is how we really do live streaming. Does that sound great, Tim?
That sounds great. Yes,
Okay.
we're ready to see some whales.
Situational awareness. That, everyone, concludes our
Was it starboard or was it?
Heading straight ahead. Yeah, just go out.
Straight. Yeah.
From reception.
Okay, Jerome, can you narrate as you walk? Can you tell us
So
what
we
you're
are
walking
now
through?
leaving the theater. Is the
We'll have to be patient as he reestablishes Wi-Fi connection. It's one of the risks of moving around on a ship. It's a good reminder that he's on a ship. Jerome is on a ship at sea and not just in his school where he'd have perfect Wi-Fi coverage. But we'll give him a second to see if he can get outside and reestablish Wi-Fi connection, because with a whole lot of luck, we can all end our time together today with a view of some sperm whales that are swimming right off the coast of the ship. Oh, hello, we're back.
Sorry, yeah. So they just said the sperm whale just dived, but because it's not very deep, they might come back up again. So
Okay.
we're leaving the yeah, come with me, just
You can see we're coming in and out with the signal as they move with the laptop computer through the halls of the Commandant Charcot. And pretty soon I expect they will be out on the deck of the ship as they get out to a place where they can see what's going on in the water. And you'll get to see a little bit of what is surrounding the ship right now, and really get a sense that they are definitely at sea. They are not in a auditorium at a school or a conference.
there we go. There we go.
Oh, there we are. Hello, Jerome. You can see it. We'll wait for him to come back from freezing, but you can see that big, beautiful blue sky and a little bit of the water in the background of Jerome. Just needs sometimes a little bit of a second to catch up with the internet connection.
You said it a different way.
Oh, there he is. Hello, Jerome.
Did you hear about the volcano?
No, you have been frozen a little bit, and I think you're where you are now is great. Why don't you hold still for a little bit and show us around?
So can you see the volcano at the back?
I see something in the background. Yes, students, can you see the volcano?
It's a massive volcano. Yeah, you can't see it very well on the screen, but it's a huge volcano, and it's in the volcano of a famous book. It's in the book from Jules Verne.
Journey to the center of the earth.
What's the name of
Journey to the center of the earth.
Journey to the Center of the Earth. I know the French title. Sorry, I don't know the American title. It's just breathtaking. So we're at the front of the ship now. So I'm going to turn the computer, and if you're lucky, you're going to see some sperm whales.
Okay, students, get really close. I'm going to actually move you.
And here are some of the. This is our photographer on the ship. And some of the guests. So they all came here to have a chance to see the sperm whale.
Okay, we can tell there must be some action because everybody is huddled around there.
I don't know if you can.
We're having sort of spotty internet connection, which is to be expected in this space. Let's give it another second to catch up.
Yeah, it's part of it. We have to be very patient to see nature. And
It's catching up with you a little bit, Jerome. I thank you both. Thank you to you and Lee Gray for getting us to the bow of the ship and attempting to show us the whales. Why don't we wait maybe 1 minute longer and see if we can get a glimpse. But if we're spotty internet, then I guess we will. We're out of luck. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so they're telling me in the chat that it's very windy. Students at CISF or at MS7, if you have any questions, you can tell them to me, and I'll type them into the chat, and they'll get them aboard the Commandant Charcot Do you have any final questions for Lee Gray or Jerome before we head out? All right, I see a hand at CISF. We'll start there.
Do you want to ask yours today?
Yeah. Where were the stalactites made out of in that picture?
We have lots of questions about the stalactites for our scientific team, specifically for Adam, who I don't think is maybe with you right now.
Oh, okay.
So we may have to follow up with you about cave-related questions later, if you don't mind.
That's all right. Thank you. Is yours about for you?
I
Okay.
can definitely answer that as well. If you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Lee Gray. If you want to take that one, go ahead.
Well, I heard there's a question about stalactites, and I can say the stalactites from the ceiling might have fallen. If you guys are interested in going caving, there's a number of programs that we have for youth.
Uh-oh.
I think we may have just pushed our luck a little too far with the internet connection by moving around on the ship, which always worth trying. But that
with people who are very, very experienced. Unlike rock climbing.
All right. Well, Lee Gray and Jerome, I want to thank you for trying. It doesn't seem like we're getting a good connection from where you are up in the front. I want to ask you on behalf of all of our students to take some pictures of those sperm whales. If you see them, take a short video. We'll pass it along. And I think it's probably a great spot for us to wrap up our live stream for today. So kids at CISF, kids at middle school at Franklin L. Williams, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Lee Gray, it's just the connection's not quite working for us at this point. But I want to thank you and all of your fellow explorers aboard the ship for joining today. We'll give you a big thank you and goodbye. Please give our thanks to the captain and all the members of the expedition who were able to talk to us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time.